Hello everybody, welcome back, and we open this one up with an Audi coming in to Richmond Park. Please like and subscribe, it does help the channel, I very much appreciate it. Keeps me doing more videos. It's pretty self-explanatory what's going on here, totally unneeded. Look at the people on the left, there's wildlife, there's deer in the park. And we get up to speed to 20, but that doesn't seem to bother certain people in certain cars. Have no time, no patience. Anyway, there we are. Let's have a look at the next clip. Okay, on the A3 here, just as we get going, 3 lanes. And we're looking to take the next exit. So is this white car passing us, not a problem. That isn't the car that we're looking at. It's this one here on the right hand side, the BMW, completely and utterly in the wrong lane. He wants our lane as well, so he comes across, no indication, goes to undercut that white car for a second, but the white car moves out of the way, and then he guns it down the road, and then he pulls over on the left. Very brash, and that type of speed and that type of driving on the road is why we have so many accidents. It's really poor planning. He knew where he wanted to go, got himself in the wrong lane at the crossroads instead of being in the appropriate lane on approach if he was going there. Why do people do that? Who knows? Who knows? Okay, we're on a rural road here. It's not very wide at all, this clip, and we've got this Volvo behind us who wants nothing more, as you can see, than to try and get past us. And we're doing the speed limit, or more or less, because it is quite tight and it's quite bendy, and we're adjusting the speed accordingly to what we can see ahead. I'll give you a front view shortly, but as you can see, this person is bursting to get past us. He looks for an opportunity, which I think is very poorly timed. So he gets closer. It's because we're coming up to a tight bend, so we're easing off a bit until we can see what's going on, and then he moves right over and then guns it past us. It's very, very close. Now when you have a look at the front view of this, you'll actually see while we actually slowed down and he dipped his nose out to have a look. It says slow on the road, so very tight blind to the left, so we're just easing off because the road isn't wide, and as it opens up you can see, so we pick up the speed again to get going, and then it's blind to the right, and this is when he chooses to pass. And that is not good. And then if you notice, in the middle of the road there's a pedestrian there. If he had to avoid a car coming the other way, he could have very easily taken that jogger out. And people don't think like this, and they don't plan accordingly. And look, there's a van. That van could have been there a couple of seconds earlier. We could have been looking at a completely different situation there. Totally awful driving. Okay, this clip, I think it pretty much speaks for itself. Have a watch. What are people coming off that bus and walk around the front to cross the road? Possibly. Did you think about that? I don't think so. Okay, I had to include this clip. I thought this was quite funny actually. You come across many hazards when you're driving around, and there's a cat in the road, as you can see, just holding the whole show up. Not bothered, it's not running across, it's going to move across in its own time. Everybody's stopping for it. It's having a little look, and it has a little sit down. Yes, it's not too fazed by traffic whatsoever. But yeah, hazards come in many forms. Okay, it's another little visit back to Richmond Park. A simple little clip this. I like what my learner did here. This is about courtesy, so I've added this one. I didn't tell my pupil what to do here, but as they were going across, they could see a little walkway coming up. Someone looking to cross there. What does the Mercedes do? Well, just what's expected, really, ignores the person crossing. My pupil slows right down, and I love the little pause just as they've crossed, because they see a bike coming up on their right, and they wait for the bike to pass before going on. That was nice. It was a nice touch. I like that a lot. That was really, really good, and good observations. Okay, in this clip here, we're around the Croydon area. It can get a bit hairy around here sometimes, certain drivers, and what we're looking at is this guy here. private hire. He's in the right hand lane, which is for right only. Not sure why he's there, because that's not where he wants to go, and even the car in front is holding the show up in front of him. He decides to cut right across 2 lanes, just misses the bus lane. He doesn't actually go in the bus lane, but he wants to go left, I believe, further on at the lights. And this car also in the right hand lane, it's trying to squeeze into the straight only lane. Why didn't he plan a bit earlier as well? Anyway, as we move on, we're also looking at a car that's behind us, a Mini. As you can see, the 3 lanes there, one to the right, and these 2 go straight on, and the one on the left also filters left at the light. Now this Mini here behind us, we move on. We're not holding the Mini up in any way whatsoever, but for some people, they just simply do not want to be behind a learner, and they tend to give us a bit of hard time by undertaking us. And as you'll see, all that simply is to get past the learner. They don't stand that left hand lane to go straight on. They scream ahead, and not going behind that red car, but just to be in front of us. I don't have any time for people like this whatsoever. It's high risk for high risk sake. Okay, in this clip here, this is just about hazard awareness again. I mentioned it earlier, where I'm always pointing this out to my pupils. You never know where the next hazard is going to come from. And on this occasion, it's from a cyclist, an older guy who really should know better. Here he comes on the path on the left, and what's he going to do? He's just going to go right across the road on a green light. I mean, he does say thank you at the end of the day, but he's got no protection on, and he's taking risks for the sake of just taking risks. I suppose it's his life, it's up to him, but there are things you've got to be aware of when you're driving around. You never know where that hazard's coming from. Yes, and talking of hazards, as we were joining A3 here, it's this car here on the left that we're going to be looking at. But it's my pupil's job to match the speed of cars that are on there, get up to speed so the join is seamless. And I think they do a fine job there indeed. Very nice job. Now, getting back to that car that I pointed out, what we're going to do is have a look at the front view, and you see how that car becomes a complete problem. It could have been for us, it could have been for somebody else. So, as we're looking at it from the front, we're looking to join the A3. You saw it seamless from the back. Now we're looking at that white van on the right. We're trying to match pace, and we're doing a pretty decent job of it. Now, just at the point there, we're already indicating to say we're going to join. We're feeding in. You saw the gap from back, and then this car does that. Very late, very poor. And not only that, he's got that additional little number plate on there, if you notice, which means basically that that car probably doesn't belong to them. It's been delivered somewhere. So, you know the owner of that car? So that's poor. We caught up with the car anyway. What was the point? Okay, in this clip here is one of my pet hates. We all know about mobile phones, don't we? But this is particularly annoying in the sense you see this car coming up from behind. The person driving the car, and they've even got a child in the car, in the passenger seat. And if you watch him closely, he's actually looking down. One might say he may be just looking down for no particular reason. There's nothing much down there he should be playing with. And as you see, as the clip moves on, all will become clear and what he was actually doing. There you go. There goes the mobile phone, clamping it to the window. Massive no-no. Okay, this clip is about some OAPs, pedestrians looking across. They have priority. They have the right of way. The lights are red. They do change. I think, you know, they're looking to cross. They're thinking about it, and then they go for it. So they have the right of way here. But this car on the right pushes through. This poor old fella there tries to run out the way of that car, and then they just push in front of us. It's just overall poor and impatient driving there whatsoever, and no consideration for the more vulnerable on the road. Okay, while we're talking about vulnerable, this clip here is about a pedestrian crossing the road a bit further up and a car reversing. Kind of 6 to 1 and half a dozen the other, really. The car is reversing probably because they've just dropped somebody off and they can't move forward. But in doing so, I think they should be a hell of a lot more aware than what they are. As far as the pedestrian goes, I think she could have possibly been done a little bit better job. Maybe walked in front of the car rather than when it was looking to reverse. You judge here, see what you think. Now, this, first of all, this black car shouldn't be parked there in the first place. But that's not what the one I'm referring to. It's this white car now that's reversing. and this one here, and I'm wondering, has that vehicle seen this pedestrian crossing here, and should she actually be crossing the road and going behind the vehicle when he's got his reverse lights on? There. And she still carries on going regardless. And yes, it was very, very close indeed. Who do you reckon's in the wrong there? Could she have done better? Could a car have done better? Hope for a little bit of debate there, I reckon. Okay, and this clip here is not really about us. It's about a learner coming the other way. Just something I happened to notice. So, you know, it's not just us that gets put under pressure as well. As we pitch into the left and that learner comes past, it's the red car coming towards us, and as they're creeping through this gauntlet of cars on either side and trying to be careful, watch the car behind them. It just gets far too close, and there's no need for it. The red car's going quite slow for obvious reasons. Look how close this Volvo gets. It gets there and it gets really, really close there. Again, brakes, a little bit harsh, and he's going very slowly anyway. There's no need for it whatsoever. Just a bit more patience for the learner would be nice. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next. Have a bit of empathy for the learners. Take care for now, drive safely, and bye bye for now.